FA presents The Inner Circle.
And away we go!
Starring Coach Ant and Coach Rel.
Okay. So now I want to pivot a little bit. In that space that y'all both in, I want to tackle, I want to get into personally, you touched already credit. And I want you to do a little bit deeper dive. What made you get into that? How did it kind of come about? So you can start there and then we come to you. What's your story? So what's your story?
Yeah, so graduated college 2018, worked as an employment counselor in a halfway house, helping the inmates get jobs. Also worked as security officer. So I had 2 jobs straight out of college, but like we talked about my vision, I was always on something, what's going to get me to the next level all the time. Because I just didn't want to be like average. That's just me. That's just the drive I have. So when I was working these jobs, bro, like one of the things that stood out to me personally was I got hired, but I was making the same amount of money as the person who'd been there for years. So I already know that it wasn't a lot of growth for me in that place. So I always was saying that, I want to try stuff out for myself, entrepreneurship. End up joining a marketing company, made great money. And this is where the credit stuff came into place because I made doctor money. I made like $325 in a year. And in that company, I had to do a lot of trainings on Zooms. My computer broke. I had to go to Best Buy. When I went to Best Buy, I ain't get paid that like just yet at that point in time. So I had to use credit to go in and finance this Apple laptop. When they ran my stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm making $300,000 a year, whatever. And they declined me. That's why I'm like, it's not about if you got a lot of money, because you need the credit and the money. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. So I'm like, all right, cool. I need to go to get the credit fixed. Then I go like real rabbit hole on YouTube. I'm seeing people just buying their parents stuff, and then that's when I realized I'm like, all right, if my goal is to go to retire moms and just get myself right and do all the things I want to, number one, I need the cash, yes, but then I need the credit to go and buy these houses, to get the cars that I want to live how I want to live. And I paid somebody to fix my credit, but I'm somebody, if somebody do something for me, I want to know how you do it.
Yes, sir.
So I'm eager in that aspect, and he wasn't trying to teach me, so I found mentors, and bro, it just went from me learning the credit space, learn the business credit space, the business funding space. I racked up like over $500,000 in just credit cards, like business funding. Got real estate mentorship, and now I'm actually in the city of Philadelphia buying a lot of these houses you see and converting them to duplexes, and I rent them out to Section 8, bro. So that's why I know like this whole cycle is like it's something. But that's how I got into it, bro.
That's a good story. Okay, so you leaned into the system. You realized how to leverage your credit in order to go out here and capitalize on something.
Yeah, bro. Because for real, statistically, bro, out of every 10 people, probably 2 of them got $1,000 saved in their bank account.
Right.
You feel me? So a lot of people have dreams and goals, but the problem is they don't have the resources. It's not that you don't know what you want to do. A lot of times you know what you want to do, but you don't have A, B, and C lined up to get you there. So credit is a cheat code because that's what's going to open up the door for you to get the funds for your business to do what you want to do. And me, I took advantage of it because I realized I got approved for a $10,000 Apple credit card, and that joint took me 5 minutes. But if I was to go and try to save $10,000 at my job, bro, it probably took me like a year, 2 years, 3 years, probably save $10,000, bro. So that's all I need to see, and bro, like I just got locked in on it. I went crazy.
So, real quick question for you: when you learned about credit, right? Did that build up a frustration of why it takes so long?
Yes.
Because I hear it.
Yes.
Right. So talk to that.
Yeah, bro, I feel like once I learned that, bro, like it unlocked a whole new world, bro. I felt like there's nothing we can't do, like nothing, bro. Like every time somebody talks to me, they want to do something, I always bring up, what's your credit? What's your credit? What's your credit? Now, bro, to be real, I feel like I post a lot, but Rel told me this one time. He was like, you can't you can't not post something because you feel like you know it. It's so many people that don't know it. So I still feel myself. I'm 4 years into this, still saying the basics.
Yeah.
There's so many people that don't know, and they're literally locked out of this free enterprise system because they don't have the scores, bro. They just don't have the scores. They don't got the knowledge. And you can literally, if you want to start a business here, you want to make extra money here, you want to invest into crypto, you want to go into the stock option, you want to get into real estate, you want to go to have salon suites, you want to do whatever. And it's like, it's all there on the table. But that goes back to what I said. We got to stop going against the system. You got to play with the system, bro. You have to go along with it. It's going to get you to where you need to be.
And here's the unfortunate part about that, right? Because I love, that was fire. But unfortunate part is, naturally, again, just this is a black conversation.
Yes.
We got a black table right here.
I already know what you're about to say.
My God.
Yeah, yeah.
So when people hear you talking like that,
They be scared, bro.
scammer,
Yes, scammer. Yep.
afraid,
Mm-hmm.
I need a low. Now all of a sudden we know how to read the fine print. Let
Yeah.
me get when we get the contract, flesh out all the details,
Yeah.
which you should.
Yeah, bro.
But
Yep.
it's a lack of not knowing. Because there's a lack of not knowing, then it comes with criticism,
Mm-hmm.
right? It comes with criticism on your name,
Yeah.
on the stuff you've been building up for years, and that's just totally unfair to you.
Mhm.
So then when you look up and you got the duplexes,
Yeah.
and now them same people coming to you like,
Yeah.
hey, yo, let me.
They spin the block. A
They
lot
spin the
of
block,
people.
yeah,
A lot of people spin the block, bro.
And so, how did that affect your mentality? How did that grow your hunger?
Mhm.
And how did that make you feel about just black people and the lack of support or support thereof?
Yeah, I felt like we were misled, and I also feel like people don't take you serious until you take yourself serious, and they don't take you serious until you can literally flash something in their face and show it to them. And that's another reason why men go so hard every single day, because one of the first things is that you trying to prove it to yourself, but then you trying to go ahead and prove it to others. But I also realized, as on this journey I'm on, that your reason for you wanting to be wealthy or you wanting to have this massive success can't be that you're trying to get back at somebody else. We can't do that because we're going to stay stuck. So do it for you, and then just show what, like you, when people view you, they'll view the God that's in you, bro. And then they'll want to go ahead and be a part of this mission and this goal and create these leaderships and create these communities that we can now pour back into each other, bro, for sure. But it start with you. Like, it's somebody waiting for you to make that next step so they can do it, bro.
Solid. Okay, let's pivot. Let's get to you. All right, so walk us through like your story. I know you're a physical therapist, but what that look like? What was like some bumps in the road along the way?
I'm an athletic trainer, but I work in a physical therapy clinic, which is a non-traditional space for an athletic trainer, but it ties into like my journey. So essentially, I never wanted to work in healthcare, right? You being my brother, you probably know that the most. I used to want to operate solely in like civic engagement and mentorship, and education. So I wanted to be a teacher to some capacity. So that's my background. A big part of my upbringing. I didn't pivot into healthcare until about my sophomore year-ish of college. My health science program opened up at Rutgers Camden. And at this point, I was trying to define my purpose. And up until that point, I was experiencing injury, a lot of aches and pains from sports and stuff like that. And I always had this understanding of the human body. So with that value of what the human body entailed, I wanted to correlate that to education. So when I look at my environment and I look at the healthcare system, I'm noticing underprivileged communities when it comes to healthcare and education and public health. So that's when I pivoted and I said, you know what, let me go into healthcare. So I became an athlete trainer. And the trajectory to do that was to get my bachelor's, then get my master's. And then ultimately was trying to find a setting. So I've been through so many different kinds of settings, and noticed that each and every setting, I felt unwelcome. So when you talk about Black men in the professional space, it's a lot of that mixed in there too. Just trying to find your niche. Earlier, I was talking about the work, right? Like, and how the work should never change. I found myself in different settings, right? During immersive clinical experiences, feeling unwelcome, and that guided where I felt comfortable at. So ultimately, when I say I'm an athletic trainer that works in a physical therapy setting, I found a place that accepted my vision and accepted me for who I am. And it's not about being comfortable now. It's about the work, but it's also about people understanding and valuing the work enough to push you forward. Because even when you talk about the community and just growing up in poverty, when I look around, I ain't see too many leaders, not until I got older. But then by the time you get older, it's like, do you understand how to value leadership? Right? Like, I grew up, and you know this best. I grew up isolating myself a lot, like just me and my thoughts. And while some pros to that is also a lot of cons. Like, do you trust your brother? Right? Do you trust the person to the left and to the right of you enough to guide you? And for the longest, it was no. So a lot of my interaction with professional spaces was me working alone. And then you realize it's pros and cons to that too. While you might be comfortable, you're really not benefiting from the knowledge and the wisdom of the people around you, regardless of color. Right.
Right.
So you deprive yourself of growth. So ultimately, I'm an athletic trainer. I work in a physical therapy clinic, and I found a place that fuels my purpose, and they don't put a blanket over it. They embrace my light, and they don't tell me what I can't say or what I can't do, because they understand at the root of who I am, it's tied back to something far more purposeful than a particular position or a place. So yes, I'm a healthcare professional, but in the setting I work in, I wear so many different hats. Like,
So I got, I'm privy to your story,
Yeah.
right? So, let me take you to a particular setting that you was at. So, we're not going to name the school,
yeah,
right?
no.
But you was at a school
Yeah.
and you was getting your doctorate, and you had the resume, and you was accepted into the program, and you was well into the program. You had the grades, and because of your color, you was treated a certain way.
Yeah.
Speak to that space and the frustration that came from it, and how you kind of bounced back from that. And where it started, like when was the first time you actually realized, wait, it's different in here?
Yeah.
They treat me a little different.
Yeah.
But
I mean, to discuss that, I think first I gotta acknowledge. So it's just speaking to myself at that point in time, right? I find myself in this particular space where nobody looked like me, right? Like I had to accept that my likeness wasn't relative to people. Well, I didn't accept it right away. I had to acknowledge it. So I'm looking for people to understand me, right? But because they're not familiar with the kind of person I am or where I come from, there wasn't no understanding, right? It was do or don't do. It wasn't no grace. So in this particular setting, I found myself trying to fit in, right? Like,
code switch.
yeah,
Okay.
like the need to fit in and feel welcome. So I minimized my light a lot of the time. I didn't want to be completely who I am, because I felt like being completely vulnerable was a burden to the space around me, right? Even if it was a means to my freedom or a means to my uniqueness. So I dimmed my light to fit in. And it didn't feel good, like it didn't feel good knowing that I couldn't be my full self. And it affected my work, because a part of your work is being in support and being supported by the people around you, right? Like, so in the healthcare space, we talk about clinical reasoning, but we also talk about multidisciplinary care and coordination of care. Because I didn't feel welcome, the coordination of care lacked. So when you have particular patient cases that's challenging and you might need some help, because I didn't feel welcome, I didn't acknowledge the need of help, right? Which is very, very important in any professional space. So while I'm working, I'm also going to school, right? I worked at the university. I went to school, for pursuing my doctorate. So that also translated into the academia for me. And it affected, ultimately, my stance there, right? Like how I felt, but also my grades, and then you look around, I'm all the way in Indiana, right? I'm from Camden, New Jersey, right? You look around and you taking all that into consideration, and you start questioning, yo, am I meant to pursue my doctorate? Like,
do I belong here?
You know what I'm saying? Do I belong here? And then, ultimately I left. So what I was being exposed to there, right? was challenging what I desire and what I value, and it forced me to leave.
That all of that is heavy.
Yeah.
I think one overarching theme that we talking about is, man, as a black man, do we actually have a safe space?
Yeah.
What safe space do we actually sit in and realize like we could kind of like just compartmentalize some things, debrief on some things, and kind of settle in and be actually who we are.
Mhm.
So is there any spaces, and this go around for everybody on the couch, where you can honestly say, this is a safe space for me and I can be myself? Is there a lot of spaces that way? And if so, what?
God created.
Yeah.
I mean, like, essentially, like,
That's not wild. Like, that's not wild to say.
No, but so yes and no. I'm gonna tell you why. I can only speak to my personal experience. So having gone through that, like the story I just shared, and understanding the weight of it and how it made me feel, and ultimately how it deterred me from my purpose. You look back and you like, yo, like, nah, I can't let something like that dictate my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because the purpose is so much bigger than the experiences that you fall short in, or the moments that you have where you don't look like yourself, right? So in realizing that, you gotta pick up the mantle of leadership. You get what I'm saying? And if nobody doing it, you gotta do it. So that's why I don't think it's that crazy.
From a mental health space, I don't like the answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I don't like this answer. What's up, y'all? If y'all like with this conversation that we've been having, the inner circle, man. First of all, if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit us up, man. We're gonna look into your credentials, see who you are. If you fit the criteria, then feel free to sit down on this couch right here, the hot seat. And another thing, like, subscribe, and lock in with us on all social media platforms. Our Friendly Advice. And to visit our website is ourfriendlyadvice.net. You can book us there. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.